I'm Liam.
I'm Wayne,
You're listening to In Film We Trust YouTube.
a place where we post clips from our recent episode.
All links down below in the description.
And now, on with the show.
They are pretty much at Sue's house because they're going to a party. And there's this thing we're on about like expectations, like parties at 10. Okay, so we go at 11. Nope,
Yeah.
midnight.
Yeah, the fashion. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I did that at uni. Like, let's be fashionably late. No one wants to turn up at the time because you expect no one's going to be there.
And I loved them bar scenes, did you?
They're great again because
So authentic
it
looking.
feels real because it's these guys just pushing through crowds and the camera following them along.
Because they're almost like a modern speakeasy, how they say everything in Hollywood's hidden down a back alley, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they're always looking for like the real, like everything is just a quest for the best party, the real party.
What do you think about Charles? Charles is good. I like Charles.
Charles is impossible to please though because they go to
Everywhere he is.
They go to these great parties like, oh, let's go here. Oh, this place is dead anyway. Like,
I know.
are we looking at the same place?
Because he's an aspiring actor, because he didn't get the pilot either, did he?
No, he's aspiring actor as well. They're all aspiring to be something. But I think Charles was a very fun character, I thought.
That's when we end up at another house.
They go off to this other bar, and also, after they leave with Charles, they have that slow motion shot, the Reservoir Dogs homage.
Yeah, it looked a bit weird, though. The frame rate looks funny, doesn't it?
I thought watching it thinking, are they just filming this at the wrong frame rate? Because it's like a lot of, it's very kind of robotic and jarring, isn't it?
Because they're saying Tarantino's derivative of Scorsese, aren't they? Which is why they do the whole Reservoir Dogs homage.
In fact, there's pretty much a round table conversation which kind of mirrors or pays homage to the discussion on tipping from the start of Reservoir Dogs. Like they sit around,
Yeah.
the camera goes around the table and they're talking about this and that, and
Because they get to that big house party. That's quite a swanky house.
it's up in the hills, isn't it?
Did you know that was actually a real party they're at? That was a real
I
party.
assumed it was a real party
And
they were at.
They say if you look at the scene, they're maybe not household names, but you can see all Hollywood producers of that time.
Yeah, actually just milling about in the
Yeah,
party.
because it's an actual party.
I never even noticed that. Also, here's another thing that only happens in movies and TV. They go to this party and they just go up to a bar and they just start making their own drinks. Is this just an American thing? I've never been to a party where you just go up and make your own drinks.
That's too much temptation for a Scottish person, Wayne.
It would end very badly, but yeah, they turn up at this really swanky party, and of course Trent's
all cocksure, isn't he?
he's got his swagger on, and he goes and he speaks to this woman who
With a backpack. With a
backpack and a cigar. I was calling her the cigar lady the whole time.
And she never shuts up about herself, does she?
No, she just goes. I think Trent's really actually kind of put off about her. Oh, this party sucks. Let's leave.
Yep. We head to the Dresden.
And then I was thinking the Dresden. I was sitting thinking, how are these guys affording all of this?
Which is a Hollywood staple, the Dresden.
The Dresden, yeah. It's a restaurant.
Yep, the restaurant, and there's also the Brown Derby they go to, which is another Hollywood staple.
Yeah.
Sadly, some of them's not even here now. One of them closed down in the pandemic.
As a pandemic, that's a sad thing. It's like, again with this film, it's almost like a snapshot of that time in history.
Yeah, because
wasn't
they walk into the Dresden, don't they? And
Yeah.
there's Marty and Elaine on the keyboard singing a crappy version of Staying Alive.
I was so depressed watching that. I'm like, it's supposed to be professional band. I'm like, can someone please get these off stage?
No, but did you know? Actually, no, they are the house band of the
They
Dresden.
are actually the house band of the Desert, yeah. Because watching it, I was like, God, this song is bloody awful. Actually, before they even go into the club, they're all driving in their own cars, aren't they? I guess they've never heard of carpooling, and I love how, I don't know why, but they do a synchronized parking and then steering wheel lock.
Yeah, because there's like 3 or 4 of them. They could all fit in one car.
Yeah, there was like 5 cars or something. I don't know why. It just made me think, when was the last time you seen someone put a steering lock on their car? Because cars are automatically steering lock.
Yeah,
now, it's just again that
that 90s nostalgia.
but they're in the Dresden and this bloody awful band is on. Mike speaks to, is it Nikki? I think
Nikki, and she's having the cocktail with the olives, isn't she?
lots of olives. Yeah, she's a star because she recognizes him, but he's trying to play it off like, oh, maybe you recognize me from somewhere famous. But it's like, I served you at Starbucks.
It wasn't just she served him at Starbucks. He was trying to get an application to work at Starbucks.
That's so depressing. Yeah.
But this is one of the gists of the film is Mike has no success when he's trying to play himself up. He's trying to make himself sound greater than he is.
Yeah, it's like whenever he's trying not to be himself, it just comes off as completely inauthentic.
Because there's the bear claw speech, isn't there?
Which was something Vince Vaughn actually did
said,
say
yeah.
to Jon Favreau, yeah, and he incorporated it into the script.
To be essentially to be more assertive, to go back to Nikki and get her number.
It's a very long-winded way of saying, try again and be more confident this time.
And don't be the guy in the PG-13 film. Be the guy in the R-rated movie.
Don't be the shy guy.
But you know what? It works.
It worked, goddammit.
Because he gets her number.
On a napkin.
On a napkin.
which was just how it was done back then, I guess.
No mobile phones.
No mobile phones. Yes, they just, because he goes over and he kind of does more swagger this time, and yet he comes back over to this table, and there he's got the napkin with a number on it.
And of course, what do? They debate how long he has to wait to phone her.
How long I had to wait to phone, which...
It was 2 days.
The consensus is 2 days, but
now it's 3.
To be fair, if that was me, I'd be more confused and annoyed. I'm like, do I call her now or do I wait 2 days?
And then that's when we head to the Derby and the Goodfellas entrance.
Which is interesting because in Goodfellas, that was just a happy accident because they couldn't get in the front entrance. They had to go through the kitchen, didn't they? Or the back entrance.
Is that so?
Yeah, it is true, yeah. And so just, you got this unbelievably iconic tracking shot, and I watched it and I thought, yeah, that's...
So an accident like that influenced, you could say the opening of Boogie Nights is a riff on
because
the Goodfellas.
because that's what, like a several minute unbroken shot through the club, introducing a lot of the main characters. Yeah,
and then obviously You'll Nace, I know on a much smaller scale, but still.
Because like a lot of films were influenced by, again, just that directing style.
And at the Derby, it's like a swing night, isn't it, with the big bad voodoo daddy.
That's the band on the stage.
It's interesting with the whole swing revival scene. They all came from 80s punk bands.
Yeah, and that was just what they moved on to after that.
Yeah, in the 90s.
They just got tired of that kind of music, so they moved on to
this.
Bit
of a change, I suppose.
Yeah, it's interesting. So,
and this is where he meets...
Lorraine.
Which
is funny because...
She's like the quiche.
Yeah, because you told me that Heather Graham's in this movie, and the opening credits did, and it got to this part of the movie and thought, wasn't Heather Graham in this film? And there she turns up, Lorraine, and he goes over and he talks to her, and he says the thing about the quiche, and then she says to him, I thought real men didn't like quiche. Did you pick up on that reference? The thing on the quiche is, it's a reference to a novel by Bruce Fierstein called Real Men Don't Eat Quiche.
Is that so? I never knew that.
It's a novel. I think he was a screenwriter as well. And it's a satire of masculine stereotypes.
And Mike's actually the one who says he's not feeling like a real man.
Yeah, he says that. Yeah, this is what I like is there's times where Mike can really communicate with people almost as if he's in the same situation as them.
Well, this scene is the pivotal scene. This is the changing scene because Mike, even in his self-loathing, has tried to exaggerate his life circumstances. And now he's with Lorraine, he's just honest about his situation, isn't he?
I think he's found someone who's on the same level as them. When I say that, I mean they're in the same kind of situation. He doesn't feel like he has to play anything up, exaggerate himself. He can just be who he is.
And it works because they go dancing.
They're dancing. A dance which...
starts with a slow dance.
It does start with a slow dance. I believe they rehearsed that swing dance for about a month, I think it was.
For a month.
A lot of rehearsal, but it does look good.
No, I think I actually read as well, Jon Favreau had he not previously taken swing lessons?
I think both of them might have done, actually, yeah. Did you not feel that scene was very cathartic?
Yeah, because it quickly changes to a fast dance, and he's not sure about this, is he?
It does, yeah, but it's again, there's like this raw kind of release just watching them dance on the dance floor.
All this time, because Trent and Sue are watching, aren't they? They look proud of him, don't they?
Yeah, they're like giving each other little compliments there, but they're the ones sat alone at their table.